Good afternoon and welcome back to Breaking Waves. You're here with your host Hana, and on today's episode we have a guest who we've previously had on the show. Her name is Salā Pafitimai Doctor Fa'asaulala Tagoilelagi-Leota. Previously we talked about Falapepe, but today we're going to be talking about Aoga Amata Transnational Aotearoa, which she is the co-director of. Talo falava and welcome to the show. How are you today?
Talo falava, Hana. Good to be back. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Nah, it's good to have you in it. I have to say that you gave me last time, which I'm really thankful for. But yeah, could you tell us a bit about AATA?
Well, AATA Limited, AATA. It took us quite a while, the other two directors and myself, to try and give it a name. And so we are very much aware that there is an association of Aoga Amata in New Zealand, which is way older, 30 years, more than 30 years of existence. And we're members of SASIA. So we thought we better not duplicate the service to Aoga Amata in New Zealand. We can support, but our main core will be out of New Zealand, which is where Aoga Amata Transnational, the word transnational is our point of difference. We try and service and support and join, celebrate or share our frustrations and challenges with the Aoga Amata movement across the world. So that's the word transnational. We arrived at AATA. So it's only 2 years, 2 to 3 years, but the dream has been boiling for about 10, 15 years because we've already made contact with most of Aoga Amata communities in the countries that are now working with AATA through the webinar series.
Can you tell us a bit about the philosophy of AATA?
AATA follows the philosophy of SASIA, philosophy of Pacific ECE in New Zealand. Why we were established was to make sure our children were grounded with their cultural knowledge, confident to speak their language, and also be reminded or mindful of their Christian background. So it's culture, language, and Christian values. That is the philosophy of AATA also, to make sure our children can defend who they are. Our children, there's a research component. AATA has capacity to research, also review and evaluate programs at tertiary level. That's the capacity of the team, our team. Even cultural knowledge, cultural intelligence, provide support, provide professional learning and development for teachers. And that's the work we want to support, all in the medium of Samoa, Ngangana Samoa.
Love that. That's amazing work. I know there are webinars that you guys are hosting. What are those webinars about?
Well, webinars is one of the services that AATA is trying to start, and we have started. The dream was, and still is that how can we bring teachers of our Aoga Amata across the world? We're in an environment where there is no funding available with COVID, and so the online Zoom became the option. So, and we call it now the Aoga Amata International Webinar Series. In Samoan, upenga ofinangalo fa'avao malo o Aoga Amata. And like to acknowledge our AATA advisory group who provided that term for webinar. What is webinar? Upenga. And that's in particular Leafionga Tufilau, Nina.
Yes.
Laikurifi. Yeah. So she was the one that was instrumental in the naming of webinar in a Samoan term. So So now we've done the first one. It was launched by Samoa by a whionga seu ula Ioane Tua Au, the Minister of Education. And he came online, launched it, welcomed everyone, and then the presenter was the CEO of Ministry of Education, Ai Au, Chris Hazelman. So they presented. They told us what, how Aoga Amata, the current situation of Aoga Amata in Samoa. And we had many countries watching in that day because our webinar series, the 5 countries that are on board are New Zealand, of course, Samoa, Australia, Hawaii, and America. Those are the countries we have at the moment. So the next series is this month, November, and New Zealand is going to be hosting. So SASIA, the Society Aoga Amata Samoa I Aotearoa, will be hosting the whionga le Peristene, le tuwala o le malietoa Sophia Penn, and also the director of SASIA, Sungaya Irene Palea Iforoti. They will be presenting to the world, and we are looking forward to it.
Yeah. What kind of specific topics are talked about?
Well, we have a little committee from each of the 5 nations. We've been talking all last year, and we just did it this year. The series just opened September this year, but we've been talking all last year, or the 5 countries. Why are we doing this? And the motto for the five countries is journey together, malanga fa'atasi. It's not a competition. It's not about who's ahead and who's behind. It's sharing best practice so that our children get quality ECE learning. So the topics we talked about, what are we going to talk about? Well, it'd be nice to know the history. Why did you start your Aoga Amata? Things about teacher practice. What are the pedagogies appropriate for Samoan children living abroad? We talked about, okay, so what about the curriculum? What is the curriculum? Like New Zealand's going to talk about te whāriki. So what is your curriculum in Hawaii? What about you in Upolu? So the topics really is to inspire the teachers to keep going, because it's not easy. We're there to empower our teachers abroad and also empower us in New Zealand, because we might not be doing it right. We have to always seek advice from Samoa in particular with the language, and also practice from other nations.
It sounds like you guys have a very good process for making things happen, and the culture is interwoven into all of your processes, which is amazing. How can someone attend one of these webinars?
Well, we're acknowledge Bluwave's support in our webinar series. The flyer is going to be developed by Bluwave, which has the link, and it's going to be available on Bluwave website, also with AATA, also our own, the co-director's personal Facebook page, and it will be also distributed to the reps from each country, and also to SASIA, our co-partner, and it will be very much promoted. The Bluwave team has kindly supported the first one, and they're going to support this, the marketing promotion. So it's a link that it's on the flyer. You just click and it takes you straight into the webinar.
Awesome. And could you tell us when the date is and what time it'll be?
Okay. It will be on the 22nd of November. Today's the 1st, so it'll be on the 22nd of November. It is a Friday at 11 a.m. We're just testing the waters, because the first webinar, we did it at 2 o'clock, and at that time, San Francisco was ready to go to sleep. So we've brought it forward to 11 so that, the time is still gentle and kind to the other nations.
Yeah.
So 22nd November, 11 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time. That's it's also during our, the teachers are teaching, but they're going to work around the time so that the children are not without a teacher. So looking forward to.
Pafitai lava Salā, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Do you have any last words?
No, we just want to thank the people that are supporting us, everyone, and even your collective prayers, because all this is done voluntary. We, because of our passion and our love for the children, our Samoan children.